Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We got some early sweep weeks. Some big teams go down. Tyler O'Neill, is he running or not? Players only. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented by SeatGeek. Code Talkin'. You get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Might bump into some friendly people in the city of Baltimore, Trev, as I head down for Baltimore opening day because I feel spry and good. What's going on in Calabasas?
You know, I just got back, had my youth practice today. We had a little miscommunication today, so things were already a little uneasy between us. Then I hopped on tonight as we film this, and you're sick as a dog. But the one thing we know about you is you're built diffy, and you said, not my flu game. This is just how I am. Who is Michael Jordan? I'm a Diamondbacks fan. You're a Diamondbacks fan. Corbin Carroll's been getting cute. A lot of stuff to talk about. My goodness.
Yeah.
What's going on with you, man? Besides wanting to puke.
You can see I did a stream with Joe's McFly. And you can see about, I'd say 2 hours, 3 hours in, I change outfits. And that's really when the tone changes. I'm trying to do some baseball commentary. Joe's playing the show. And I'm just running off the same. I'm like, hey, make the pitch. Nice swing. And I'm just slowly folding into the couch. So I'm hoping I ate something bad. I had a weird lunch. So I'm hoping we get this flipped overnight so I can enjoy a couple natty bows tomorrow. We might be getting there early, a little aquarium trip. So we need to crank this the first Friday episode on a Thursday. we haven't hit our normal time yet. We will. And I'm excited to get after it, Trev.
What'd you eat?
So I went, I'm good for this once a month that I go to like the local store and they got the buffet out and I just load up. I missed breakfast, so I was hungry. I wanted to do something fast. So, I put a hodgepodge of stuff in there. There was one bite of fish. That would be my best lean. Some thick boy dumplings because that's all I know.
Not the full buffet. You can't do the full buffet.
Random buffet fish feels like our front runner.
That's hey, I made a mistake. So did some of these teams. Trev, I'm interested to get your take on Tyler O'Neill because that's been all over the board.
I got some thoughts.
Okay. What do we want? Do we want to do a little NL burn first? Throw it back. That used to be our leadoff hitter. Maybe it's a Monday, Friday thing.
You tell me, Big Papi. This is your show.
You start burning.
Let's get it. And Trev, BBD, we're starting off in Milwaukee, and the broomsticks are out. 10-0, 9-0, and then how about a walk-off? Garrett Mitchell gets it done. The kids, Joey Weimer, dirt on the jersey. Brew Crew, how about him? Looking good to start the year. In the Centrals, formerly the Mid, Reds and Cubs split 2 games, and that's obvious. Reds, after winning the first one, they got a lead on the Cubbies, and the Cubbies put it on them. Your guy, Patrick Wisdom, Ian Happ, Nico Horner, all with 3 hits in that game. We got rained out Wednesday night. Speaking of sweeps, Cardinals? But when you hear it's the Atlanta Braves, it makes a little more sense, don't it? Ronald Acuna Jr. does his thing. Austin Riley, Matt Olson, date my daughter, please. 473-foot tater from Austin Riley. He's young. He's thick. And the Braves sweep a good team. How about it? Speaking of a team that can't get swept, my Snakes, they split 2 with the Padres, little 2-gamer. Why not? Gallen Day wasn't full on Zach Gallen. And that first game, the walk-off, Ha-Sung Kim after talking baseball, David Dahl bringing up the rear of that Padres lineup. How about it, kid? And this one's not as exciting for you, Trev. Dodgers sweep the Rockies. It's a 2-gamer. But how about some of the vets? Jason Heyward with a big day at the office. Frederick Freeman, Muncy, all the names you know pretty well. How about Michael Grove, making his MLB debut. We love that. And that's the National League. We got a lot of NL, we got a lot of AL, we got a lot of IL, and it's all brought to you by new partner, Hello Fresh. Yes, you know Hello Fresh at this point. They take the hassle out of mealtime this spring by delivering pre-proportioned ingredients and easy-to-prepare recipes. Not to flex some of the perks, fellas. We got sent some HelloFresh because they wanted us to try it out. I'll say this. If you're looking for the step up from just getting food and meals delivered, if you want it a little fresher and cook it and the experience, and maybe, Trev, I know you like to add a little bit of flavor in there, HelloFresh allows you to do that. And once you go to HelloFresh.com/Talkin50, you know what that 50 is. That's Fitty, Talkin 50% off, plus the first box ships free. That's HelloFresh.com/Talkin50. Start using America's numero uno meal kit. And Trev, I think I didn't do it last episode, but now that we're rolling, Braves 5-1, leading the NL East. Mets and Marlins 3-4. Phillies and Nats 1-5, 1-6. Your Brewers are 5-1. Pirates 4-2, some fortitude. Reds are 3-2. Cubs 2-3. Cardinals 2-4. Dodgers 4-2 themselves. Padres, Snakes, and Giants 3-3 in the West, and the Rockies are 3-4. So, Daddy Trev, where do you want to take me?
I think we continue to be a crom pod. I think that's the best way to do it. And it just so happens that probably one of the more fun series, well, depending on which side you're on, I guess it could be one of the more miserable series, was that Mets in Milwaukee series. And we got some brewing there, bro. Pun intended. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they got some kids down there. And how many times do we question the Brewers for not going and doing what we want? Yeah, you made some trades. You did this, you did that. You know, brought in Winkers. That could be enough. Looks like they had their eyes on some of their prospects, some of the young guys. Mitchell made his debut last year, but, you know, Weimer and Terang coming up. These guys look good, hungry. Weimer swings like a caveman kind of. Like, just swings the crap out of that bat. He had a nice homer there. Mitchell's been doing his thing. It's been really fun to watch these guys. And they sweep a Mets team that is very good. And against some really good pitchers. Now, I know Cookie Carrasco, there was some velo stuff going on with him. Scherzer, not really sure, in the middle of the plate a lot. I'll tell you that much. But Brew Crew, the offense is looking good. They're fun to watch.
Yeah, man, the kids are no joke. And if you're, at least for now, you know, it's a long season, but they got, you know, 3 kids playing in that lineup with some retooled. You know, we talked Jesse Winker, who I've seen him have some big hits early on in this season. How about Brian Anderson? A little reboot from him. Remember when he was like the Marlins All-Star? And yeah, this is the dream series if you're a fan, right? You win the first 2 in blowouts, you know, a little golf claps at the end, 10-0, 9-0. And then you're down. It's getaway day. We won the series. There's no way, right? And then it is. And if you're a Mets fan, you know, that bullpen that had become too hot of a topic for some of the wrong reasons, they give it up. And Garrett Mitchell, you know, and this isn't a guy who's not a prospect. Like Garrett Mitchell, top 100 guy that, hey, the Brewers need to hit on their kids. They often do. And, yeah, go Brew Crew, go, Trev. Are they buying you back? You know, they kind of pushed you away last year.
They did, and maybe I didn't listen enough. You know, when teams say we trust our prospects, I'm like, usually that's a cop-out. I did hear that from them, so I can be wrong sometimes. Now, they've already, like, branding these dudes, calling them the freshmen. Like, I kind of dig it. I've talked about the home run celebration in Milwaukee. I'm on board with it. The cheese works for me because it just makes sense, right? Right now, they're a fun team to watch. And Corbin Burns hasn't been Corbin Burns yet. We know he will be. He had a rough start there. Again, Scherzer didn't look too good. Wade Miley got his 100th win. Yeah. He had a nice start. 6 innings pitched, no earned runs in that second game. But yeah, hey, we talk about the Cardinals and how good they are, and we're going to be talking about them later on for probably the wrong reasons. But this Brewers team is definitely going to be there. I like the way they look a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, Wade Miley, that's not a joke. Our stat guy, Dalton, who you may know from Blitzball and some other things around the office, Wade Miley's his favorite pitcher. Do what you want with that, but I've never seen someone so excited for a Wade Miley dub. I never have. So I'm excited for him. And the Brew Crew, you love what you're seeing, Mets. And we're gonna say stuff like this on repeat, Trev, and we kind of hate when we do this, but if you're a Mets fan, you're clearly not overreacting. They got some decent Verlander news, right? Like he's gonna be throwing more. So if you're the Mets, I guess the biggest thing is the bullpen, which you had arguably the best closer in the game. He's gone. It's gonna be a topic. And they hoped it wouldn't be a topic so early.
I think that's it.
Yeah, let's Trev, you mentioned those cards. We're Central guys, man. We've left the Coastal Elitists behind because I really want to hear your Tyler O'Neill thoughts. Third time I've said that. Cool stuff, Jake. Because this ain't the easiest one. I'm a big fan of, if you really don't book it out of the box or, I get it. As the summer gets long, it's April 6th right now. But then I looked at the replay and it's not like it wasn't cooking with gas necessarily, but to get benched for that, I have to think Marmol is just trying to send a message to the team in general. So Trev, with that, what are you thinking?
Now, for people who don't know, there's a Tyler O'Neill play. He's on second base, kind of like a soft liner, just decent liner hit to Acuna in shallow right. He's coming around third base. And it's not 100%. I think anyone that's watching can see it's not 100%. So he gets thrown out. And then, Ollie comes out in the press and calls him out, ends up benching him. Tyler kind of is caught off guard by the comments. And the second day is what gets me a little bit, Jake. I don't like a manager using the press to come after a player in general. I feel like maybe there are some instances where it could be warranted. I don't think this was one of them because I think Tyler has, when you think about Tyler O'Neill, do you think about a dog?
I think a fire hydrant with arms, and I do, and I hadn't gotten here yet. He does have a little bit of an injury history for a young guy.
Exactly, dude. This guy wants to stay on the field. Here's where I'm at with it.
Ironic.
Go watch the play. Everyone needs to go watch the play so you can have some context here. I don't know if we could put it in there in post. I don't know I don't know. But it was starting to rain a little bit. Bases are slippery. He was going to be hosed at home plate. Ronald Acuna came up and fired an absolute bullet. As a runner, you don't have great options anymore when that's the case. You're running, you're coming around third base, you peek at where the ball is. It's a freaking 95-mile-an-hour dart right to the catcher. You're out by 20 feet. What's the best case scenario for you? You just slide into the catcher, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
What are you going to do? You can't truck them anymore. They don't really, you're not going to slide head first and try to, get a lane. Not when you're thrown out by that much. They're going to be there blocking the plate with all their gear on. I think he saw that and was like, fuck. Almost kind of like giving yourself up. And you know what? I can see it a little bit from Marmol's perspective. He's not going 100%, but do you want him to? Right. And even if you do, and that's fine, you're the manager, have your expectations, set them. I just think that's calling him out in the press. And then the second day, doubling down essentially. What's up?
Yeah, it feels like, and Tyler O'Neill, that's where he ends up coming up good. He's like, why didn't we do this behind closed doors? Because it feels like a conversation. At least we're having it. And by the way, I don't know if this ties in, but I saw Lars Nootbaar gets nicked up too. So I don't know, man. I'm shocked. When I hear a player gets benched for not hustling, you're assuming someone's lollygagging. I don't want to be rude to a guy who's a legend where he's from, but I watched a lot of Robinson Cano. He was kind of the first guy that really entrenched himself on not necessarily having to bust it, but guess what? He did that. He got older. He did it to stay healthy, and he stayed healthy. Go look at some of that guy's game logs. He did some other stuff too. So yeah, I guess Trev, when does that conversation happen? Did you ever have it with your managers? Like, hey man, I don't know. calf's a little locked up. If you see me not bombing it second to home, I don't know. I guess how do those conversations go down?
Typically, you have those talks. If you have an injury or something like that, you understand, but you also gain a little bit of leeway. The longer you play, the more dirt you get on your spikes, the more accolades you receive. And this Tyler O'Neill's kind of been around the block a little bit. What's his service time right now? Let me look. 4 years going into this, an MVP 8, 2 Gold Gloves. He's not a guy that he's not a rookie. I'll tell you that much. He's way more veteran than rookie. So I think that's kind of what gets me into this whole thing. You're a manager, have your standards, fine. But also have standards about how you talk to the players. I think Tyler's come off much better in the situation than Marmol.
Yeah, and there's a little, the Cardinals, tough schedule to get out of the gate, and it's probably not what they wanted. And, Trev, I do think there's more layers to this, right? This is a guy that was almost traded. We saw some of that information come out. We knew Cardinals outfielders were on the tip of a lot of teams' tongues. I think it was our Marlins, the Fish. Good tweet. Someone said if his name was Jyler O'Neill, he'd already be
I saw that.
on the Marlins. So our theory lives on there. Yeah, I any sport I've played for most of my life, leading up till now, I'm getting old and stuff's starting to hurt. Hustle's all I got. So I didn't expect to see the clip and be like, that was it.
Yeah. And look, they get swept by the Braves.
Whoops. Braves. The Braves wagon.
They're doing it.
You just kind of forget sometimes, man, that they top to bottom, pitching, starting, relief. And up in Austin Riley, how's your 473-foot home run?
That swing he put on that. Talk about lean back. What a feeling that is.
Oh, I know it. Yeah. Go Braves, go Cardinals. Something to watch. I really started drinking their Kool-Aid early on in the season. Right before the season, I was just like, damn, they are deep. Let's see what goes on in the Lou. Trev, I think I want to jump to, we got a topic and one of the more fun comebacks of the season. The Padres, Ha-Sung Kim with the walk-off right after Daddy Doll, our friend. And then we get a little Ron Kulpa show. So I don't know if you want one of those or both of those.
Let me get back here 1 sec. Yeah. All right. I love the comeback. Obviously, it's amazing. David Dahl came on sequence with me and talked some hitting. He's very cerebral and he's had some tough times.
Yeah.
Finds himself on the roster. He's started a few games for them, and then this is obviously a massive bat. That's one thing that we talked about. The Padres last year didn't really have great depth on their bench. I think they have much better depth this year, and it's times like this where it kind of comes in handy. I think he came in after a defensive replacement. My guy Longo hits the bomb, right? Yeah, hits the bomb to put him ahead. Then we have to get a pinch hitter, and when you have guys like a David Dahl on the bench, that have a Nelly Cruz and Matt Carpenter, really helps out. So Dahl ties the game, everything's going sweet, and then our dude Kim just unleashes on one, and he took his helmet off. And what I liked is he didn't want to throw it out there. He just needed to carry it, like a little lap dog or a little baby or something around there. And then after the game, some of his quotes are pretty good. He's like, he felt bad because he took all the shine away from David Dahl.
Yeah.
And if you are David Dahl, you are kind of like, damn, man.
Well, I'll say this. David Dahl, 1 for 9 on the young season, and that's his one. So, hey, you made it count. And Ha-Sung Kim becoming one of my favorite players. Me, BBD, and Lorenzo, Zoe from We Got Ice, we did a Wake and Jake episode, and we ended up on who's a jersey from someone not on your favorite team that you would go get. And I think he got thrown around like he's a guy. There's so many options. But yeah, I mean, that's
I think he's doing HS Kim as his name on the back of the jersey now, which that's bonus points there. Swag.
And it's good. San Diego's a baseball town. We haven't said that in a while, right? We talked about all the money and all the dudes, but that place that place is lit, man. And I don't normally say that unironically.
No, it's crazy. The chant they do, the Ha-Sung Kim chant when he comes up is awesome. Yeah, dude, I mean, they're gonna be such a fun team to watch. We got freaking Tatis causing problems in the minor leagues, getting dudes' feelings hurt. Did you see that?
Oh my God. What? Holy smoke. Trev, that's another interested one I'll kick to you because I don't know where I land on it. Like I'm kind of not happy for the minor league kid, but I don't know. I guess he shot back.
Well, I don't know why he didn't really need to shoot back, bro. He left the pitch middle in, a fucking really good big leaguer turned on it and deposited it where it's supposed to go. Like, don't get mad about that. You just gotta make a better pitch. But yeah, he Padres Twitter, it's all over him. Got all over him. You just can't do that, man. Don't open yourself up for that.
And don't, it comes back to if you didn't want him to hit a homer, then don't have him hit a homer. And yeah, man, Tatis, it's starting to like sink in. That
he looks
we're
down there. Here's my question to you. You're
2
that
weeks,
pitcher, right?
Yeah.
You have a bomb, have a bad tweet. It's a bad tweet. We can say that confidently. Have a bad tweet. Look, it could happen to anybody.
Right.
Tatis is down there. Guy like him, all that money, he's buying both teams to spread.
Yeah.
You beat the spread?
It's a great question, Trevor.
I got to know if the kid eat the spread.
I'd love to know if there was one meal short, maybe the next day. That would be a good one. And a shout out, my Snakes, as I wear the hat. Jake McCarthy made an incredible defensive play that allowed them to win that second game. And no news here, really. Xander Bogaerts is hitting, so tough to see that coming. Trev, I guess
touch on Machado, or you want to skip on that?
I don't know, man. I don't want to say I'm over Ron Kulpa, but you give me all the characters in the play, and I could have written it.
That's exactly what I thought when he took the helmet off. I was like, "Who's up?"
Yeah.
Okay. And people are like, you know what? Machado should have just asked for it earlier. Agreed. He should have just asked for it a second earlier. But didn't we get the memo out like, hey, we're just going to tell the umpires to have a little bit of common sense about things? Didn't we get that? It went from being strict in spring training to at the end of spring training, they were like, let's figure this out, guys. This is one of the instances where you just say time. And another person I saw somewhere was writing about how if you have 2 strikes and you have a timeout and you're not in the box, it should just be automatic timeout. If you're not ready, we shouldn't have we don't want at bats to end on this. That's not the point of it, right? So let's put some more of these safeguards, as they've been calling them, in, because we don't want to see Manny Machado not have a chance in front of all the fans that paid to see Manny Machado have a chance because he was a 10th of a second late with his hand.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me. That's not what the rule's for. So.
Garrett Cole's last at bat of the game. The clock goes down to 0. They both try to call time. He's got to step off left, and the ump doesn't give it to him, and that's the way it ends the day. I bet I'll speak as a Yankee fan. I guess I would have loved to see Garrett throw that 3-2 pitch. Yeah, and Trev, I don't, people don't like when mom and dad fight. I'm having some pitch clock, baby steps back. A couple of these games have been a little too quick. Like, there's times I'm on my couch, I'm scared to look at my phone or fire off a tweet. So I don't know. I still want to see more. It could be gone, and I could not feel that in 3 weeks, but it's still just a little. There's moments where I'm like, whoa, like what just happened in that half inning?
It does seem like it's moving, no matter what. That's kind of the feeling for me. Like, it's like the tide coming in, like it's coming. So I agree that there's very few instances where you have time to go somewhere and not miss baseball.
I want to see more. If we could land, a little, Sandy's start, which we'll talk about in a minute, $157. I mean, I know he's different, But that's a quick game. Trev, I think that's all the pure NL. A couple Dodgers notes. Michael Grove makes a debut. Expect him to enter Cy Young talks. And Jason Heyward, Trev, I know you almost worked in this Dodgers front office. He hits his hardest home run since 2015, man. It's I don't know.
What's interesting too is, I mean, it just didn't play out well in Chicago. Like, could it have if there was just different people around him? That always kind of scares me. If you're a hitter, you think about those things all the time. What if I had a different, voice in my ear? Like, there are things like that happen. But yeah, the Dodgers sure seem to find stuff. We want to let people know, like, if we're not touching on your team a certain week, we're trying some different stuff here. I think the topics are kind of interesting to us. So, that Reds and Chicago series.
It was a good Cubs comeback. I was watching it because I might have placed a little bet on the Cubs to come back. And so that was a big rally. A lot of gambling in the John Boy Media office since baseball season has kicked off. Hey guys, leave it in the comments if there's something you think we missed or something we want to do more of or less of. Let us know, and we're open to it. It's early in the season. It's a new year, and we just want to put the best product out there. That's all we're about, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out Jason Voss, their big 3-run homer. Go Reds. Go Hunter Green. Was I in his Instagram DMs? Yeah, I was.
Trev.
Yeah.
Nice.
How many pitches that guy thrown over? It's like 342 pitches over 100 miles an hour. And the next closest person is like 30.
I mean, the graphic that popped up, it's one of those things. It's like, oh, like he's okay. So you're basically you're in a different world that if you figure it out, he's going to be a problem. And the Reds, they got some young pitchers. Lotolo, Ashcraft, baby.
Not a great start for Hunter, but again, figure some stuff out. We rocking.
You want to do some American League, Trev?
I do.
How about your Toronto Blue Jays? They take 3 out of 4 from your Kansas City Royals. The Royals win the first game. Our guy Brady Singer back doing it. You remember how strong he finished last year. Unfortunately, the rest of the series was Blue Jays all day. Kikuchi with a nice bounce back start. Manoah and Gossman do their thing. And yeah, you know those Blue Jays guys. Varsho, Chapman, Vladito. The boys take care of business in Kansas City. Even though Melendez, Pasquantino, and Witt, we're going to be saying those names a lot for the next couple years, and should be some fun moments for our Kansas City Royals. Not this weekend. Speaking of fun moments to come, the Baltimore Orioles, not only do they take 2 out of 3 from your Texas Rangers, but they call up the kid, Grayson Rodriguez. Glad he finally got some seasoning to get ready for this start. Hey, kid, take the pill. DeGrom's on the other side. Tough first matchup. Hopefully, it becomes a fun note in Grayson Rodriguez history because, like you mentioned, stuff plus the kid has it. Josh Young with that thick neck, but Orioles, they take the first 2. Kyle Bradish leaves with an injury. We don't like that. Orioles, one of the wildcard teams this year. Speaking of, the Detroit Tigers, maybe your most surprising result of the weekend. The Tigers take 2 out of 3 from Houston. They take the first one in extra innings. And then they take game 2. Houston locks it in that final game. Our guy Christian Javier is still doing it. But how about Matt Vierling? He was traded over there, game-winning 2-run yacker. And the Tigers, a season-best 12 hits in that second game. Let's see. I'd love to see 2 Tiger players go off this year, because you look at that Baseball Reference from last year, and it is not a baseball boogie. Trev, some wild ones late night out west, Monday night, maybe the craziest game of the season so far. 12-11 Guardians over the Athletics. The game was back and forth. I mean, pure chaos every inning. If you're following Jimmy's new betting style, you would have made a lot of money on this one because everyone came back. And then, by the way, the Guardians, that final game, they got another one, Trev. Hunter Gaddis, 6 innings pitch, 1 hit. they pitch. Miles Straw with a really good catch. Cleveland social media saying he's a Gold Glover. I'll find out. Let's watch the season. Halos, Tony Kemp. Vanderbilt's Tony Kemp with the walk-off in the other game. Angels take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. They win on Castillo Day as he goes 5.2 shutty. But how about the Angels early in the season? Shohei, he shoves. You know that. Brandon Drury with one of his first big games as a Halo. Logan O'Hoppe, friend of the family, with a home run. Love that for him. Phil Nevin's quote, "We keep coming at you." Nice, Phil. And that's what happened in the American League. Trev, how about some AL standings quick? I feel like $1 million. AL standings, Tampa Bay Rays are 6-0. We'll get to them. Yanks are 4-2. Jays 4-3. Orioles 3-3. Red Sox 3-4. Guard Dogs 5-2 out of the gate. Twinkies 4-2. We'll get to them. White Sox 3-4. Tigers 2-5. Royals 1-6. Rangers and Halos on top of the West for now with their fortitude. Houston at 3-4. Oakland 2-4. And Seattle 2-5. Slow out of the gates. So we got some topics in the American League. Trev, which one do you like?
I think we start up there with the Cleveland Guardians at the A's. Like you said, that was some pretty fun baseball there. The first game, Guardians win. Jose Ramirez doing Jose Ramirez things. And, I talked to Rosie about this. He scored the run on the Josh Bell sac fly, great head first dive in the home, like does the whole thing. Like that's kind of like this identity that the Guardians have. And this is like, everyone tries to do kind of what they're doing. Not everyone has the pieces to do it, but yeah, take the extra base, like cause havoc out there. Like let's win that portion of the game. It's going to help us. And when you have like your unquestioned leader kind of always with his freaking jersey dirty, doing things like that on the base pass, it's easy for the rest of the guys to buy in, especially the young guys. They're looking up to Jose Ramirez. I mean, he's the guy there. He's the guy everywhere.
Yeah.
You watch that guy try to play like him. But that was on full display. I mean, and kind of for both teams, Kotze is doing a really good job there in Oakland, kind of making sure these guys are fighting. They understand what they're up against, no doubt. But to, have your boys playing like the way he's having them playing, I think is good. It's a really good ball out there. Plezek, not so hot, needs to figure that out. They're kind of running thin there with the starting rotation in Cleveland with McKenzie out as well. But they look good, man. Cleveland looks really good. They look like the real deal. They look like a team you don't want to play in the playoffs.
No, you don't want to play them ever, man, because they do it all. Their whole lineup is pretty much hitting at this point. Not Oscar and Josh, and Rosario. Sheesh. Everyone else is hitting. And yeah, the Oakland team, Trev, I'm gonna start planting this seed. I think we're a year away from them being pesky. Like I don't think this season with how good the AL West is gonna be, but they've got that Oakland A's energy and they have a plan, man. Like they knew they were gonna bring in Kotze and they were gonna give it leash, and it's always different in Oakland how they operate. But yeah, that team's a bunch of pesks, man. And my guy Tony Kemp, one of my favorite Instagram accounts. Reminder, follow Tony Kemp. He loves ball. He loves his wife, and that's kind of it. It's powerful stuff, man. It's kind of like you, Trev.
I love Tony Kemp. Shout out. Yeah, he gets the walk-off knock there. Comes back, tough air that led to a couple runs, gets a chance to redeem himself, does it. And that's kind of like what I was talking with Kotze, like really preaching that. You have a guy like Kemp, who a lot of those guys on the Oakland team respect as well. This guy's a veteran, been around the block. When you have, your guys showing through adversity like that, it's really good.
Trev, let's hop over to Texas and Baltimore. Like I said, Baltimore wins the series, but I think more importantly, Grayson Rodriguez, like number one pitching prospect for a little bit now. He gets the call. Trev, I can tell from your Instagram likes when something hits you, and the video of him with his dad after his first start. I could tell by your like how much you like that. the kid gets the chance again. I hope the DeGrom thing becomes a really cool footnote in a couple years. And if you're an Orioles fan, you gotta be stoked. You knew he was coming, but you kind of didn't know when.
Yes. And one thing I really loved about the start with him is young guy, clearly going to have, emotion running through you. Like you're right. Up against DeGrom, he's from Texas, so he's got people there. A lot of adrenaline, and you have to be able to calm that down. And he had a shaky first inning, didn't look too good. And a lot of guys will go run and crawl in a hole when that happens. But then the guys that are different, like Jake Storiale, find a way to harness it. And I know he's got some good veterans there with Gibson. I'm sure he talked with him a little bit about it, but harnessing that, man, and then coming out, whether you have to take a deep breath, whatever you got to do, figuring it out. He ends up putting a pretty good stat line there. And you're right, man. Like, he's electric. Filthy slider, freaking 98 at the top of the zone. I think his last strikeout of the day was 97 at the top of the zone. See you later. Showed a little bit of emotion there. We always like that. Chris Rose always talked to me about Grayson Rodriguez, and I told him, I don't really watch prospects, bro.
Right.
Like, until I see him in the big leagues, that's just not my thing. But he always mentioned him. So I've kept up on him a little bit, and he's going to be something. He's a problem.
Gibby, 7 innings, 2 earned. Whoops.
Oh, don't touch on that.
You might. It sounds like you could hear more later. And I guess if you're a Texas fan, that final game, DeGrom bounces back, and your formula works. It goes DeGrom to Smith, Hernandez, Leclerc. No hits allowed by the bullpen. That's what they got going on there. Astros, Tigers. Trev, you're buying all the Tiger stock you can?
No, I'm not. I'll tell you if I was. I'm not buying the Tiger stock right now. I am. The thing I'm most interested about the Tigers, and this is Tigers fans be mad at me, I'm interested in what Miguel Cabrera is going to get from each franchise when he makes his, farewell. The Astros gave him a cowboy hat and some wine from Dusty Baker's Vineyard. Nice personal gift, but I don't know if that's a farewell gift. Where are you at? If you're in Houston, Texas, big, what do you get Miguel Cabrera? You're the GM there.
I'd get him a grill. Yeah?
I said the same thing on baseball today. I said, get this dude a smoker.
Right? He's been smoking meat for years on the mound.
No, shout out Tigers, though. I don't mean to disrespect. Matt Vierling freaking mashes a 2-run homer, and what is that, the 11th inning to go up. It's a difficult place to go there in Houston, win games. They win the first 2. Houston with some good news. Bregman is slumping like crazy. Pena was slumping like crazy. And they're still scoring runs because they got a fucking deep lineup, man.
Yeah. Kyle Tucker never stops. And 0 for 19 for Pena, 0 for 18 for Bregman. Sheesh. Altuve and Brantley on the IL. That's a formula to not necessarily win games. I don't think anyone's worried about that result. We did Guard Dogs Oakland. You got anything Angels Mariners, Trev? We get a Shohei day, which is always a treat. Angels have won 3 consecutive series on the road. Let's go, boys.
Yeah, no, go Angels, taking 2 out of 3 in Seattle. I feel like they kind of always play well in Seattle. I could be totally wrong in that. Maybe I'm just thinking about Mike Trout.
Trout does, yeah.
He tortures them.
But they're looking good. I like that. Reed Detmer's only 4 2/3 there. He had only 2 earned runs, 7 Ks, gets the no decision. Kirby didn't look too good in his start. Then you get Castillo doing his thing. AJ Pollock, my guy, 2 homers.
Yeah, you get a 2-homer day out of him. Teoscar Hernandez puts up a big day. Ty France stole a base. I forgot if that was last series or this one, but I know all the MLB The Show people were happy about that. Again, Phil, this one cracks me up. We keep coming at you. Yeah, hell yeah, Angels. Why not?
Shohei had another rough first inning, but he kept coming at him and figured it out. His end line was really good. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run. Had some walks. Got a violation as a hitter and a pitcher. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, right. That was I was surprised how excited people were for that. But hey, we love a first, right? Who was yours again?
Oh, good. It's a good story, but offline.
Okay. Yeah, mine was my freshman year RA. Blue Jays Royals, great unis.
College?
Great unis game. I was in my head, I was saving myself for the right girl. Not like a religion thing, but I thought like it's gonna matter, and then swung the big stick one day, and here we are. Love you, Jess. Happy birthday, Noodle. Sixth birthday for Noodle the Doodle today. How far we've come.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I mean, he used to.
I remember
he used to be a puppy. We're getting emotional.
I saw it on Instagram.
Just yesterday, he was 5.
Yeah, right.
Let's
Adam Simber gets a save for Toronto. He pitches gross. Vladdy back-to-back homer games. And again, I think I like both of those unis. I guess that's where I'm at.
Burn it, baby.
Your Interleague baseball. Let me get there. The Interleague series, the Chicago White Sox take off against the San Francisco Giants. I see you, Tom Prizeman, my guy, still in the lab getting work done. Giants take 2 out of 3. They take the sandwich games. Disco and Woody on the bump for that. Couple guys on this Giants team. David Villar with a massive game. Yaz with a big game. Davis Conforto, 3 hits on the bookend there. And Dylan Cease, you betcha. He did it in the middle game. The good news out of White Sox camp. How about Liam Hendricks ringing the bell? Cancer-free. Hopefully we get to see him on a baseball field soon. How cool would that be? Trev, the Twins, undefeated season, 4-0, 11-1, a blowout. But the fish with arms, Sandy, oh my goodness. Just absolutely disgusting. And then Lopez, he's facing off against his old team. But baby Jesus Luzardo, he shoves toe-to-toe with them. And Soler, a little Soler power with the 2 homer days. Good for the fish. Sorry, the perfect season is over, Trev. Rays sweep the Nats, and that's obvious. Even the middle game where the Nats were fighting and had the lead, they end up winning it by 4 runs. They've been blowing out everyone. It's their first 4-0 start ever. Luke Raley's hitting ding-dongs. Man, they've outscored their opponents 44-13 so far, Trev. My goodness. Go Rays, go. And the Yankees, they take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. They need to win their first game of the season, and they did it on the second one. But Cole and Cortez, the Yankees' 2 best starters in their rotation right now, they get it done. Gleyber Torres cannot be stopped right now. Trey Turner, 2 for 5, RBI and a steal after visiting the office. How about that? I guess if I was a player, maybe I'd visit. Speaking of visiting Fenway Park, the Pirates came into town, and they brought the broomsticks. 7-6, 4-1, 4-1. Roansy gets it done. So does Keller. So some starting pitching from your Pirates after all those crazy games at Fenway. They neutralize that Red Sox offense. Jihan Bay with a sick catch on the Monster Kid. And Red Sox fans, just slight panic on Twitter. And that's what happened in the Interliga.
Slight panic in Boston.
It's a slight panic in Boston.
Chris Sale. Well, we're not talking about it yet.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. Trev, how about we do some Rays dominance so far? They are undefeated. They are the last undefeated team. It's pretty easy to point at Nats Tigers and say undefeated. Their next series is against Oakland. Jesus. Penn might be coming in play. They pitch a ton. Wander is a star of stars. And I think if you're a Rays fan, you play with a little edge anyways if you're a Rays fan, because you naturally hate the other teams a little bit. I think they're out for blood, and they're a head tilt team this year. A lot of injuries last year, And that rotation is kind of the hot topic online. Do the Rays have the best rotation in baseball? I'm Chris Rose.
Once they get Tyler Glasnow back too, I think they might, man. I mean, you said it all, basically. This team is spinning it. They're hitting it. They're playing great defense. Every time I look out there, Manny Margot's making a diving catch. Randy Rosarena is looking back in the stands, doing his deal. I mean, this team is absolutely firing all cylinders. I guess the one thing you could say, schedule watch, Nationals. I think they opened up against the Tigers. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
You could talk about that.
You could.
So we don't get too far ahead of ourselves with the Rays. We think they're an amazing ball club, but there's a gauntlet coming, and they know that. Now, are they up for the challenge? 100%. Cash talking about his rotation just says they just want to one-up each other. I like when there's competition like that.
Yeah.
In clubhouses. Rasmussen's absolutely nasty.
When do we talk about him, Trev? I don't want to say it in a rude way, but McClanahan, we talked about the Eflin signing, Springs, Jimmy's guy, Glasnow. Yeah, Rasmussen's 27 and all he does is deal.
He just fills the zone up too. Give me that, man. If you're able to do that, fill the zone up, strike people out. I mean, he'll get a game under 2 hours if he wants this year.
Can the Rays win the AL East? I'm Chris Rose.
Yeah, of course they can.
I think they can.
If they stay healthy and some guys step up and Wander and Randy have MVP-ish years. I mean, a lot of things have to go right for every team, but there's teams out there every year where it happens. It lines up. And could it be the Rays year? Shoot, they got the roster for it and the depth.
Couple guys on the way, man. Curtis Mead, Taj Bradley. And
they were trying to sign or trade for Juan Soto, weren't they? So there's some magic or tricks up their sleeve.
They're a new Rays, they
Was that not real?
Wander.
Was that just not real?
What's real, man? Simulation talk? You want to do that?
Let's go. Sorry, Nationals. You got raised.
They are too.
Yeah. Patrick Corbin. I don't know, man.
You getting them checks?
It's tough. Tough to watch. All just in the middle of the zone, hittable stuff.
Trev, I don't want you to throw anyone under the bus, but have you seen? I mean, yes, you have. You've seen players go through stuff like this. What do you do? What do you do?
I don't know. I'm not in the situation.
Right.
You got to be willing to make adjustments at some point, change some things up, pitch, repertoire or usage or arm slot or something. Because it just hasn't been pretty. It was ever since, if I'm not mistaken, hasn't been ever since he pitched in relief and pitched a bunch of games when they won the World Series.
Pretty much.
Has it been the same since then? I don't know if you can point to that.
Yeah.
But I know it's wearing on him, man. That's the toughest part.
Yeah, and you wonder, if he ever ended up, it's what runs through your head, right? If a Rays or a Dodgers ever took a flyer on him, does he have some sauce in there? And think about that. We just talked about it with hitters. Those thoughts run through your head. Am I getting the proper coaching where, Corbin, you got to looking in the mirror and looking at the coaches, you got to have some interesting thoughts running through your head. Trev, we had I think my favorite, I don't want to say my favorite ejection of the young season, but it's because I like this guy and our clip of it was really good. TA7, Tim Anderson, gets the hook. And man, it's just a really funny clip, and everyone in the dugout is doing I'm talking to him, man. I'm not talking to you. And whenever that happens in baseball, it's got to be a horrible feeling as an ump, but I don't think they fully ever admit that. But we had that ejection, and Trev, are you telling me there's a little breakdown on the way with some info?
Well, in game one, we had Kopech on the mound, and he was over the plate with pitches. And I didn't watch this start, but I saw what happened. I saw the homers and stuff, and I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Then I started to prep for this show, and I was like, I want to see these homers at least. I mean, I think it was 3 homers in an inning. Let me go check it out. And within 3 pitches, I was like, oh, okay. These dudes were taking absolute daddy hacks on these off-speed pitches. And basically, what I told Jimmy, I was about to tweet this, but I passed it off to Jim. He's going to do a nice breakdown on it. I said, when you see guys like either laying off-speed pitches, like auto taking, or taking massive hacks and getting the results they want, like they were getting, I mean, you could assume that something is awry. And it was. There's some stuff going on. I texted Giolito and said, do you guys see this? And he said they already had figured it out as well. So not going to happen anymore for Kopech, hopefully. But if you go back and watch that inning, if you can get it before Jimmy makes the breakdown, be curious to see if any fans can see it, because it was pretty obvious. I mean, I'm talking like legit 3 pitches. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Four homers in the 5th inning, 7 home runs on the day for the Giants. I think this was their most home runs in a 3-game series since 1961. Nice, Dalton. Good snag. And yeah, your boy Blake Sable with his first career home run. Elvis Andrew, 2000th hit. Yeah. And go look at that guy's stat page when you get a second. If you like hits and stolen bases, might be featured in a John Boy Media video soon with Trey Turner. A little MLB over under. Maybe. Yeah. Pesky Giants. Robert, big game 2. Excited to. Is it Robert in center? The little 3 for 4. Yeah. Oops. Hot. Excited to see the breakdown on that. You should too. Your Twins, Trev, any updates in Twinkie Land?
They're still riding high. I mean, look, if you really look at, what happened down there in Miami, you got sandied.
Yeah.
1-0. Kenta Maeda looks amazing. You got to be really stoked about that. I think like you take that if you're a Twins fan. Okay, Sandy, we're going to lose 1-0. We're going to see Kenta Maeda give 1 solo shot, 5 innings pitched, and that's the only run he gives up. I mean, you got to be happy. And he looked good too. Kind of spinning it up there, change of pace, painting when you need the paint. So you'll take that. We mentioned it was 1 hour and 57 minutes, that game. And then the next game, you could kind of point to the same thing. Hey, Luzardo looked really good.
Yeah, man.
Buzzsaw, you can be that way. And Pablo matched him. I think there was some friendly banter between the two before the game, like saying, hey, like who can do it better? Pablo's looked really, really good for them. You're the Fish, Soler with the homer and 4 RBIs, or 2 homers, in the 4 RBIs. That's what you are looking for. Chris Rose always tells me it's painful to watch the Marlins play because they just don't score enough runs. And they're going to have to rely on guys like Soler and Abisail to go. Did Jazz come back after he got knocked out of that game?
I don't think so. I think he's on our injury report down there. I can double check. Let's see.
That's a tough one, man. That's I got a concussion breaking up a double play. He was just sliding, but his head went right into Farmer's knee, man. That does not feel good, dude.
Leaves Wednesday's game due to right shoulder injury. And yeah, shoulder, that's as a hitter, that's one of the spots.
They called shoulder. Okay. I saw him like kind of here, maybe just hit him right in the neck or something like that.
Yeah, Trev, you get the boys get shut down for a day. It's Sandy Alcantara. Or maybe it's your 2014 Twins and you boys get the business. It's one of the best pitchers in baseball. After the game, is it just, whew, all right, we don't have to do that tomorrow? Like any voodoo or anything else?
No, yeah, you tip your cap and you say that's probably the best starting pitcher in all baseball right now. And we had a chance to win. Like I said, like you just go to your Kenta and you go to your bullpen, who's been phenomenal, and you say, hey, guys, like keep us in the game. We'll score. Tonight wasn't our night. Yeah, sometimes, man, you just got to say, fuck it. We got beat. They look good so far, man. I'm excited for Minnesota.
Trev, any Yankee takes you want on? Glaber is playing out of his mind. He looks
insane, huh?
He looks happy, man, and he's the joke used to be he's only 22, right? I think he's 26 now. And yeah, he looks comfortable, and he's starting to hit the quotes. And Trev, we've been dying his like celebration. If he hits a home run, he kind of claps for himself. Like he's kind of telling the crowd, like, "Yep, we can celebrate that. I'm that guy." So he's tasting himself, and Garrett Cole, early on in this season is breaking some Yankee records while Phillies get their first win on the board, and they got to be saying, can we just stop with the interleague play?
Yeah.
God, I don't love that. I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, one takeaway if you're a Phillies fan, you got Straw making like a spot start, if you will. He goes 4 innings pitched with 1 hit. You got to keep him in the rotation now. It's a nice little effort. And Trey Turner actually asked for that victory, right? He only asked for 1 victory. He should ask for more.
Trey, I think people would expect me to suck up anyways, but Trey's a dude. Trey's a dude. We put him through our little content ringer. Nothing above or below him. He saw Joe's gaming computer and he was like, "Hey, is this the 4.2?" And Joe's was like, "Oh, you speak the lingity." Big Fortnite guy, Trey Turner.
I'm out on now.
He was
I love you, Trey. I'm out now.
he was a little embarrassed to admit it because he's like, none of the teammates play with me anymore, but I kind of like it. So,
just kidding. I'll hang out with you whenever you want.
Yeah, he in his bank account, and we were excited. As many Yankee fans as we have in our office, we were excited that Trey had a nice day after visiting, because these players, they're a little superstitious. Trev, I don't know if you know that.
A little bit. Yeah, you're right. You mentioned Cole, mentioned Nestor doing his thing. How you feeling as Yankee fans? 6 games into the season, you feeling strong about the team?
Yanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. All their really good guys are playing really good right now. So you kind of take that, and you're 4-2. You won both series. That, the hiccup's gonna come. They're leaving the friendly confines of Yankee Stadium, and let's see what the first road trip looks like. There's definitely some holes that we spotted before the season, but let's see what it looks like in May. And Trev, I don't know how close you guys are anymore, but Hicksy's going through it right now, and the fans aren't helping.
I saw some of that. That's tough for him. Yeah. He's got to perform. That's New York. That's it. I was gonna say JD he came up lame. That kind of opens up things for you guys, like in a roundabout way. It's like, it's not good. I want to see that guy on the field, but
it's going to be an interesting next step. Are they going to call up Peraza, who's been playing third base in the minor leagues, and he was the other guy competing with Volpe, or IKF playing a little third base? He made a couple plays over there. Oswaldo can move anywhere. So yeah, it's I think Yankee fans are excited to get their first taste of where do they stand with Peraza, because we knew Volpe was the golden child. Are they still in on him? Are they going to let him run for 2 weeks if Donaldson goes on the IL? And we'll find out tomorrow probably if they're going to make a move on that. So, and then I think our final series, Trev, Sox kid, get the business from the Pirates. Man, Reese McGuire hit what they thought was a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th. Then they review it and it's foul. That's a tough feeling. And I don't know. You guys know I bought a little bit of Pirate stock before the season. I'm not cashing in or anything like that yet. But if you're the Sox, you see the Pirates coming to town, you expect sweep the other way, kind of. It's just that baseball mentality where they've been for the past couple years. And to be on the other side, like I said, a lot of those Sox people I follow on Twitter, the questions are getting a little loud.
Are the Pirates like a pesky team this year? Are we going to be talking about that? Because they have some guys that could make them seem that way. You get this start by Mitch Keller in there. He goes 7 innings pitched with 1 earned run. Contreras looks pretty good there. He goes 5 2/3 with 1 earned run. Bryan Reynolds is kind of doing his thing. Like, we mentioned there's names on this Pirates team. They can go in there and put up a professional ball game with anybody, and they kind of showed that this weekend. There was some of the young guys making some catches, like you said out there. My guy Bay, he plays a little bit of everywhere, doesn't he? Not just outfield. He plays the infield as well. I hope, Jake, that the stock that you bought, does a little Dogecoin, and we get a little bump there, man. I would love that for you.
Just a little spike. Yeah, they're stealing bags. They're 5th in steals, and their bullpen. Bednar, Holderman, Moretta, Underwood Jr., Zastrinsky. you pitch, you win. And I think that might be the problem with the team they played, at least early on this season. So
2 decent starts out of the Boston starters. Pivetta kind of does this thing. Kluber bounce back start. Cutter Crawford, not so hot. He gives up 7 earned and 4. They're going to have to out-hit. I mean, that's the MO there. Like, you're going to have to out-hit people. You're not going to win scoring 1 run for the Boston Red Sox. So kind of what I'm seeing there. But it's early, man. I expect this team to hit. I do.
Oh, and they will. And they will, especially at Fenway. Trev, that was the first chunk of the show as we get into some individual performers, awards, and all the goodies. And all the goodies are brought to you by Mugsy Jeans, the most comfortable jeans on the planet. They're also in the chinos and jogger game right now, made from buttery, soft, patented stretch material. That's what it's about. You got that patent, you're golden. And they have it. They're frankly the best thing to happen to legs since chairs. What a line. What a line, Mugsy. I might have to shake. I want to shake your hand. And right now, you can go to Mugsy.com and get 10% off with code baseball. You can remember that one. Mugsy.com, code baseball. They're all Jimbo wears. They're most of my wardrobe. I've got some of the silly stuff that sneaks in there, but otherwise we're Mugsying it up. So go to Mugsy.com, code baseball, 10% off. And there's a link in the description. Trev, you want to do your standout?
I will. I'm going to go with my guy, Jorge Soler. We talked about him a little bit. He goes 2 for 4 with the 2 homers against my Twins, 4 ribbies, 2 runs. And for me, like I kind of mentioned, this guy is paramount to any sort of Marlins success. And I want to be seeing Sandy throwing in some meaningful games. I don't want this Marlins season to go to waste. And I think we probably even expect it to, but if Soler can come up and be the power threat that they need, which he has been in the past, just as recently as 21 with Atlanta in those 55 games. I mean, he had where is that? An 882 OPS, slugging 524. That's the kind of production they need. Off to a great start this season, 6 extra base hits and 27 at-bats. I want to see those pitchers pitching in meaningful games. I want to see the Marlins be good. I don't want to see them just be, we play in a tough division, let's give up. I don't want to see, them lose a bunch of games, 3-1 or 1-0. Like, let's get some production offensively. Jorge Soler's a big part of it. So far, so good for them. He's slugging 704, 7 games. I understand people, but that's where we're at in the season.
Remember when he won the World Series? That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Guys, when he runs into one, you know about it. Trev, I didn't realize it's getting fishy. It's getting fishy and standout because I'm going Sandy. I mean, I know but do you know? Complete game shutout, 9 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Like you mentioned, Trev, it's early on in this baseball season, right? Last year, Sandy Alcantara, he led in complete games, shutouts, innings pitched, and batters faced. He won the Cy Young. This year, he leads in games started, complete games, shutout, innings pitched, batters faced, and also home runs per 9. He hasn't given one up yet. So, I'm interested to see, because they have Sandy under that really good contract, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, he makes $6.3 million this year.
And 9 and 17. I think the most is 23, right?
9, 17, 17, 21. Can you do some for me? Hey, Marlins, how about figure it out? And maybe Soler's part of it and the rest of the team, but figure it out so we can watch this guy pitch in important games because he's I don't know. I know the punch outs aren't there with some of the crazy guys, but he's a horse, man. He 228 innings last year.
Don't you feel like he could punch guys out if he wanted to? Like how they talk about Ichiro, he could have hit whatever homers. I actually feel like Sandy could just punch your fucking ticket if he wants to.
I think I'd have to watch more, and Marlins fans sound off, but if you're Sandy, your stuff's gross. attack hitters. And yeah, I bet when Sandy gets in a tough situation, do I think he can dial up and throw something a little more unhittable? Yeah. I think he's the best pitcher in the game. Not really a hot take. All right, some good awards. Some guys got jobbed, huh?
Yeah, there's some guys that really went off.
Sheesh.
Brian Anderson, former Marlin, keep it fishy, 3 for 4 with the double and 2 homers. Are we just going to get straight into Fuego?
I think we can Fuego, and maybe even Trev, you can combine some of the other guys we missed that were potential standout performers. Like Fuego.
I mentioned Brian Anderson already, but in that series, 6 for 10, a double, 3 homers, 9 ribbies, 5 runs and a walk. Bryan Reynolds definitely deserves the shout out. Weird contract stuff going on. Still doing it. 7 for 12, a double, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 5 RBIs. Glaber, we mentioned, backdoor banging to right field. 6 for 9, a double, a homer, 4 ribbies, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 3 bags. Are we doing it, Glaber? Are we 30-30 in it? Are we?
Mm-hmm.
Would love to see that. Is it a contract year for him?
Next year.
Matt Vierling with a
Yeah.
big homer down in Houston. He goes off in this series. 7 for 13, a double, a homer, 3 RBI, 2 runs, a walk, and a stolen base. We talked about Rasmussen a little bit. 6 innings pitched with a 7 Ks. No walks. You love to see that. Our guy Alek Manoah, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no runs, 4 walks, coming after a Verdugo call-out session. We didn't really talk about that.
Can you catch me up on that a little bit? I'm not like fully up to speed on it.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. Verdugo went on a show, a podcast, and said, talked about how to celebrate the right way and emotion. And he said one guy, he just said fucking out of nowhere, he's like, one guy who I think doesn't do it the right way is Alek Manoah. And he called out some situations last year with Frenchie and Bobby Dahlbeck, where Manoah was kind of seemingly taunting them, looking at them and talking shit. And Verdugo said, if you do it with the boys, with your teammates, everything's good. But once you start directing it towards other players, that's when it's not so good. Manoah came out the next day and was like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like what he says, essentially. I'm going to play my game. So I kind of like respect both takes, to be honest with you. Like Manoah surely can do whatever he wants to do. And he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. So like, as long as you're one of the best pitchers in baseball, who the fuck am I to tell you anything? Like, do what you got to do. I also agree with Verdugo's point. Like there are ways that, you talked about this on Baseball Today, like the generations passed down wisdom. And one of the things you always hear these guys say is, direct your passion towards your teammates, celebrate with them. Don't point it at anybody else because, for a couple of different reasons. We don't want to see the neck balls, dude. We don't want to see anything like that for no reason. And I mentioned it again on Baseball Today, but like Alek Manoah doesn't have to step in the box. So, and that's where things get settled, right?
Right. Yeah.
Interesting situation. Still doing his thing. Manoah, do whatever the hell you want, man.
Yeah. If you had to pick a winner, I'm team Manoah. The fact that Doogie's talking and thinking about him because he's performing well and he's celebrating, that's exactly what Alek Manoah wants. So
I don't think Alek Manoah, I really don't think he cares. Or I really think he doesn't care.
He does not. Because guess what? All he's done is shoved in his life. So, and he's a massive human. So he really doesn't care about much. Verdugo, while I'm putting him down here, still one of my favorites. He was home run went over his head. He was messing around with dudes in the bullpen. He's just the fun side of baseball. When he's doing it, it doesn't get much more fun. All right, we got
Can I get a couple more in Fuego before we stop?
Give a couple more.
AJ Pollock, Teoscar Hernandez, go Seattle's outfield. 2 homers apiece. 4 total with them. We mentioned VR for San Francisco, 2 for 5, 2 homers and 5 ribbies in that Monday game. Did he have some help? Sure. Doesn't matter. Got the results. I think that's it. Pete Alonso, 2 homers.
Yeah, the polar bear. He keeps going. I don't know if we want to do this as a segment, but we have some injuries on here that
A
I guess
lot of
people
injuries.
people would want to know. I mentioned Lars Nootbaar, Tyro Estrada, the young prince. Max Kepler removes from the game, Trev. Johnny Cueto, Bradish, after being hit in the ankle with a line drive. We hate that. Josh Smith gets hit in the face with a pitch. That's always scary. Joey Wendell to the 10-day IL, Trev. Oblique during BP. You hate that. Brett Beatty, who some Mets fans are clamoring to get called up, he left the game to a thumb injury. You mentioned Jazz. We'll see what's going on with Donaldson. Man, the one that crushed me a little bit, Eloy to the 10-day IL with a hamstring. Man, God, I want to buy. I'm so in on that guy when he plays baseball. And he needs to play baseball. And hopefully this is his only IL stint of the year. Trev, you have the honor, my good man.
I am going to give the disqualified from the race award. Why would I be giving that award? Well, Kyle Bradish, as you mentioned, had to come out of the game early. So if you're disqualified from the race, you had to start early, like my guy Tyler Wells did. Comes on an emergency. Not only did he have to do that, you move up Kyle Gibson the next day. Both these guys came in emergency situations against a good team and absolutely shoved. Tyler Wells, when a pitcher's not pitching on a day, a starter, they're not ready to pitch. They do their work and then they sit in their hoodie and they eat gummy bears and they maybe have a PB&J and they get a coffee and they sit around like dorks talking about Lord knows what. I guarantee Wells and Gibby were having a ridiculous conversation about something. Bradish goes down. Wells says, I'll do it. The bullpen had been beat up, so they really didn't have a lot available. This was not like a good situation for them. His quote is, I had to run back there, get in uniform, get everything prepared. Nothing that you can't throw on a little bit of clothes real quick if you need to. I don't know what that means. That's a bad quote that I just read right there. Anyways, 5 innings pitched from him, no earned runs, no hits, no walks, 2 Ks. Out of nowhere. That's amazing. That saves your bullpen. Kyle Gibson, then, like I said, starts the next day on short rest. He goes 7 innings pitched with 6 hits and 2 earned runs, no walks. So I give it to pitchers all the time here, Jake, about how they're soft and especially starters, specifically starters. But when something good happens like this, when they step up in the line of duty, when one of their brothers gets injured and they come out and perform like this, and then you get Grayson Rodriguez to come up, like it was a great day or great series for Orioles starters besides Bradish getting hurt that led to this.
We talk about vibes. If you ever wonder what that is, like you said, pitchers can be delicate creatures to put it tastefully. And for him to step up like that and say, yeah, I'm, give me the pill. Like I'm good to go. I'll let it eat. We'll figure out the rest. What's that do for him in the locker room? Because if he doesn't, does it even come up? No, they just piece it together in the bullpen and figure it out the next day. So that's one of those. I'm lucky that I'm a Yankees fan and we've got all these, we got a lot of veteran starters and, there's not a lot of guys that kind of operate that way. The regular season's the regular season. Let's get through it. Let's be right for October. And, at the same time, it's a little smart. Like if Garrett Cole ever came in early and he tweaked something, like it would be pure chaos. But hey, good for the kid stepping up. And yeah, that's it's got to be good vibes in the Orioles locker room, calling up the kid and having someone genuinely step up like that.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I screwed my whole punchline up. I mean, disqualified from the race. Why? Because they started early. That's what it was supposed to be, and I butchered it.
Okay.
I'm still riding high off my Manfred clock ring, so it's fine.
It's Manfred clock ring. Trev, I mean, fantastic stuff. How about us? Marlins, Orioles for some awards. And for my last final award of the show, that's brought to you by Blue Moon. Trev, maybe I'll have a couple tomorrow. If I'm feeling good, opening day in Baltimore, that might be something I do once in my life. So I better enjoy it, and you could enjoy it with Blue Moon. You guys all know Blue Moon at this point. That Valencia orange peel, class. It's just different. It's a Belgian-style wheat ale, one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. Bring the ballpark to you. So if you're not going to Orioles opening day, you can bring the ballpark to you. Go to get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Blue Moon made brighter. Get it delivered, people. Rainy day, stay in. Have a couple pops at get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. You know, there's a link in the description.
They got delivery options, guys.
What are you doing? Why not? You get everything else delivered, you know? Trevor, like I was just saying, you know, we've covered the spectrum today. Double fish award, Orioles. I'm heading back to a team that, again, you hope I can doge at some point. I'm gonna go with the stock. The stocks are already doge, Trev.
Wow.
Bryan Reynolds is off to a hot start this season. He got off to a slow start last season. He had a tough 2020, which, if you remember, was only 60 games. He is out of the gate. .417 batting average, 4 homers, 1 steal, 1 dot slugging. And his manager came out, and I thought there was a beautiful juxtaposition. While we spent a lot of time about St. Louis today and what's going on with Tyler O'Neill and that whole situation, and it's public, Bryan Reynolds, his contract situation has been more public than we've seen a lot of players take it, right? Like, you know, it's almost been you say that's like an NBA thing or that's a football thing. Like, you don't see that in baseball. And I think people kind of had that knee-jerk reaction when Reynolds first happened of like, you know, just go play, man. You're getting paid millions to play baseball. His manager came out and said, you know, we know about the situation, and Bryan hasn't let it affect anything between the lines or anything like that. Whatever's happening externally, he is always the same guy. And we'll see where our Pirates go. Again, going through the tweets, like, they agreed to an extension, but he wanted an opt-out, so that was the only thing they're missing. We said this a lot last year, Trev, with a guy named Aaron Judge. And every time he did something, which he did that a lot, by the way, we said the price went up. And if you're Pittsburgh, I don't know, early on in this baseball season, price ain't going down. And it's an interesting baseball reference page because we, you know, a career 850 OPS, Trev, 283, 362, a 129 OPS plus. This guy's a switch hitting outfielder. You know, I know there's some debates if he's how long is he going to stick in center? I don't care, because guess what? If you have an 850 OPS at any position, you'll stick. So happy that he's off to a hot start. Hope it continues. And, you know, I'm enjoying some Pirates baseball early on in the season, and he is the key cog. You know, we can get excited about Bay, and we can get excited about Kutch is back. And, hey, maybe O'Neill Cruz becomes the guy, but Bryan Reynolds is the guy. And he, I wonder if he becomes a storyline again this season. If a contract doesn't get done, trade deadline, where are the Pirates? If his stock is up and you're the Pirates and the extension fell through, you know, value's value. So interested to see what's going on there, and happy for a Vandy boy, Bryan Reynolds.
I would love for him to be part of the rebuild there. Like, or the next window. I'd
Could.
love for him to be part of it, and I think that's kind of what they have to decide. Sounds like they want him to be. Kind of jokes on you for your award because you're doging his stock, and like the Yankees are trying to like probably get him. So kind of zooed that one a little bit, but I agree it's been really fun to watch him. I want the Pirates to be good, dude. Mitch Keller, we don't really talk about him too much. Nice little start here. One of Kotuk's buddies, he has nothing but glowing reviews about him. And like I said, they got some familiar faces there, man. I would love to see that happen for them. But Bryan Reynolds, like you mentioned, being able to separate your off the field business with your play on the field, it's not easy, man.
Right.
Because like you got guaranteed money in front of your face and you think you're worth more, but you also understand if all of a sudden you don't perform, you're going to cost yourself. So he's got supreme confidence. It looks that way when he plays. So it must be real. And if you're the players on his team, you could think, well, how does that affect the clubhouse? As long as the guy's showing up, putting in the work, doing his thing, it doesn't matter at all, man. You probably respect it, if anything. So yeah, get what you're worth, bro. It helps everybody.
And Trev, if we go 2021 till now, he had a very nice rookie season 2019, which, hey, if you want to add that, you can. 2020, 55 games, the numbers just weren't there. Since 21, man, 285, 370, and 873 OPS. Like that's
you're approaching elite.
When I heard the number was around 100 million and they're kind of agreed, like Pirates figure it out. Cause like everything we just said with the Orioles, Grayson gets the call, guys are stepping up. Man, if that extension inks and the boys are in the clubhouse, that's gotta be a fun day. Do you have any of those, Trev? Any teammates got the extension during the season and, a little celebration or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, there's been some big ones like Joe Mauer signing his extension was big. I remember like he was doing a bunch of stuff like that. He even wore Mizuno gear one day to spring training because Nike wasn't paying him what he wanted to. He wore it one day, and they met his one specifically I remember. Ryan Domit was my Spades partner. We played against Dozier and Willingham, and one day he was a little late for the card game. We would do it right after BP real quick, and he comes down, he sits down, the big old smile on his face. I'm like, what's happened? Oh, signed a 2-year extension here. And we just sat and started playing cards again. We're like, all right, cool.
Nice, Domi.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's awesome.
Man, Joe Mauer is the dude, huh? Yeah.
Just sneaky dude. Like whenever he needs to be a guy, he can be a guy. Other than that, he's just the nicest person walking the face of the earth. So
not
good
bad.
way to do it.
Not bad.
Yeah, I will be seeing him get his Hall of Fame induction for the Twins.
Man, Dalton threw a little. I guess it's trivia, but I don't know where the answer is. But he said
he did send me the answer.
Oh, you have the answer. Okay, Trev. Gleyber Torres and Yordan Alvarez each hit their 100th career homer this week. Which MLB player took the fewest games to reach 100 home runs?
That's got to be a joke, right?
You tell me.
Well, first comes to my mind Yordan, but then why would he ask this question if it wasn't Gleyber?
No, I think it's MLB player, MLB history.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That between those two is definitely Yordan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fastest to 100. Ryan Howard.
That's correct.
Wow.
Did it in 325 games.
I mean, as a member of the 100 Club. I mean.
Right.
Keep the other guys in mind.
Forgot you boys had that big every year. You guys like the was it the 85 80 82 Dolphins, 78 Dolphins. Pop some champagne.
It's the only thing I did well in the big leagues. Let me have it, bro.
You should DM Gleyber and Yordan and say welcome. Welcome to the club,
will read
boys.
the DM.
Gleyber will read the DM.
I think
Gleyber's
like
on
that from
Insta.
Me.
Trev, I think
respect it around the
you
league.
should make that a thing. Every time someone joins
Just
the club,
everybody.
you should just send like the handshake emoji. Like, yeah.
And they'll know what it means.
Yeah. Man, I think that's it. Trev, I think we covered a lot. landed in a good spot. The first Friday recap on a Thursday. And I'm excited to get back Monday and yuck it up with the boys and see what the mean streets of baseball have for us.
Love it, man. Way to persevere.
Different. All right, everybody. Make sure you rate, subscribe, review, all the good stuff. And enjoy the weekend of baseball. See you in Baltimore, maybe.
Big Sox.
I actually had an Instagram story that said
You said that?
only when you're wearing roses.
Oh, I did see